Okay, looks like the stream is running, so here we are. Hi, it's been a while since I've streamed. I'm Jeremy Parrish, and if you're watching this, I apologize for any technical difficulties that crop up during this stream. It's been zany trying to get my audio to work. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing the farting robot noise filter that YouTube seems to apply to my voice for some reason. Anyway, this is a demo stream of Yoshi's Island, but not really. It's actually a demo stream of the Analogue Super Nt, which apparently is just shipped today or yesterday or something. I don't know. There's pre-orders going out all around America and around the world. And I posted a video earlier today kind of reviewing the system, but I thought people might enjoy seeing more of a hands-on walkthrough demo that shows some of the features of the system. But the title screen here is actually kind of boring. So let's start in on the game. I'll do a little bit of playing before I start talking about the system stuff. So let's use this file that someone conveniently loaded up World 6 for me. Look at that. It's the whole game except all the bonus levels. This cartridge was donated by a Retronauts listener named Nathan Hill, who clearly liked Yoshi's Island, but not enough to 100% these stages, and that's okay. It does get a little tedious. So, no one's complaining about the audio quality of my voice, so hopefully that is a good sign. Oh yeah, okay, so we'll jump into Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy, because that's kind of the, like I said in my review, the gold standard of Super NES simulation, emulation, whatever you want to call it. You start doing the puffball hallucination scene, and it gets crazy. So, come on little guy, get in my belly. Alright. Those guys kind of look like the great, what's he called? The great Gazook from, Gadzook, whatever. From, I want to say, the Flintstones? Yes. Anyway, so, oops, I shouldn't have done that. There you go, kill your friends. The Super NT is, I guess you could compare it to the Super NES Classic Edition that Nintendo put out. It's a fake Super NES, but it's a different approach to faking the Super NES. It's a field programmable gate array as opposed to an emulator. So rather than just, running a fancied up Android shell, it's actually simulating the workings of the Super NES at more of a hardware level. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this stuff, but basically the chip inside can be reconfigured so that it works like various other consoles. And the standard NT Mini that came out last year used a field programmable gate array that emulated the NES, and also could be jailbroken to emulate the Game Gear, the Game Boy, like a dozen different systems. Oh good, people said the voice quality is the best these streams have had in a long time. I haven't changed anything. I have no idea why it's working, but it's working, so that's great. Anyway, so yeah, this is basically hardware pretending to be a Super NES, and the advantage of that is that basically instead of having to do like an emulator and make the program it so that it works with each different game possibility, because it's just imitating the hardware itself, that means, oh, he got a coin. That means basically once they create the fake hardware inside the system, you should be able to plug any game or peripheral or anything into it, and it works without having to tweak the system. And in the week or 10 days or so that I've had the Super NT, I have found that it does pretty much everything I want it to. It's, oh no, no, Yoshi, get over there. All right, whatever. Oh, that's a... Oh, whoops. I'm a little rusty. Let's try this stage again, yes. Oh, I just got a text from my wife. She's having troubles with her job. That's not good. Everyone, send her good thoughts. So what was I saying? Okay, good. That guy's dead. What was I saying? I can't remember. Right. This is fake hardware. Yes, that's the important thing. Oops. I'm not good at aiming either. So, alright. Like I said, I ran basically a battery of tests on the Super Nt. I'm not pretending to be an expert, like I'm sure Digital Foundry will have... Why can't I hit that? I'm sure Digital Foundry will have, oh good god, an amazing in-depth technical analysis of the Super Nt, but that is not really my speed or capacity or anything like that. So, oh god, I did it again! What the hell is wrong with me? Alright, there we go. Jeez. So I can tell you that games like Yoshi's Island, which run on the fancy Super FX2 chip, work great on the system. As you can see here, like, it looks good, it sounds right. It's capable of impersonating all the weird graphical effects, which you'll see in just a moment once I get up to Dizzy, or Fuzzy, sorry. You get these little puffballs, Yoshi farts, and he hallucinates. So this is always... Oh, bad, bad, bad. Oh my god. What happened here? Oh, I dropped the baby. Now everyone on the stream is going to be angry at me, because, boy, that is a thing. Yeah, so anyway, this is always kind of like the litmus test for Super NES emulation. You can see it slows down just like on the real hardware here. But this was something the Game Boy Advance version that Nintendo published and co-developed itself had trouble with. So, like I said, it's kind of a standard. If it can run Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy, then you're doing okay. And as you can see, things are looking crazy, just like God intended. Alright, so we've been through that joyful shenanigan, and I don't think there's anything else to really show off in this stage, so I'll just... Oh, I guess it's pretty much over, so I'll move along to the next stage. This is not a 100%, I'm ashamed. Alright, so anyway, someone asked what is stopping us to use the same method with the CPU of a PC? I think you mean the field programmable gate array. I don't know the technical answer to that. I cannot answer that question. But I think this is a specific kind of processor that is designed to reconfigure itself. I'm not going to pretend like I am an expert on this. I'm sure that's a My Life in Gaming or Digital Foundry kind of question, but not a Jeremy Parish question. I apologize for my insufficient technology knowledge. What would be a good stage to tackle next? Something with a bunch of crazy effects. This one seems promising. Okay. Alright, so this is a stage full of monkeys. Who doesn't love monkeys? Yoshi likes to eat monkeys. There we go. He also likes to shoot them with eggs, which I think is an understandable pastime. Okay, so that guy is, I'm pretty sure, Super FX 2 powered, and he's looking pretty good. There you go. Get out of my face. Blarg. I believe his name is Blarg. Wow, they're all over the place. very muddy stage. Oh, that cheeky monkey! Look at him run away from me. There you go. Now you're dead. You're inside Yoshi's belly. Alright, so anyway, that's kind of the gist. You've seen the game in action. So let's show off a few of the different features of the Super Nt, excuse me. Someone said, am I being mean to people again? I don't remember being mean to people. Huh. Okay, well, anyway, so this is the basic menu. This is actually not what it looks like when you start out. Let me switch to the way it actually looks like. Yeah, that is the original font on the menu, and I find this really kind of unpleasant to look at. It's cool, but it's just like a bunch of squares. I have trouble parsing this, so I like using the alternate font, which is much friendlier. You can turn off uppercase only, which helps, and then switch to more of a classic NES type font. Isn't that better? Yes, that's better. So let's see. Yeah, we'll look at menu options first. So skin, basically, this is just the color of the menu interface. Classic is American Super NES colors, gray and purple, which is like very dated. It's very like Star Trek: The Next Generation, like the late 80s, lots of teal, lots of violets, very pastel kind of world, but we live in a hardcore world, so gray and red, yeah, that's what we're going after. These are just like little cosmetic options that affect how the menu highlight works. I like the throb best because it's, I don't know, throbs. That's such a great word. You can choose different colors for the highlight. If you choose white, it's very difficult to read. I don't recommend it. Green is extremely bright as opposed to deep. Yeah, I just go with the red. It's, Super Famicom style. Dark purple's not too bad. We looked at font. Menu bounce is just how menus make the transition. So yeah, you probably don't want to see all this stuff. It's kind of boring. And dim game and menu, if you don't do that, then it's really hard to read the menus. You can change how you interact with the system, what the hotkeys are, so that you can jump pull up the menu anytime, etc., etc. At startup, you can have a little boot up sequence, which is kind of cool. I can't show it to you because if I reset the system, then it will reset my stream and you won't be able to see it. So that sucks. But you can go directly into the menu or directly to the plugged-in cartridge. I usually bring up the menu just so I have time to figure out what I want to do. I'm sure this will become more valuable if they introduce jailbreak software, so you can load ROMs off an SD card. At the moment, that doesn't exist, that option, so it's only cartridges. So I guess I could just go to Cartridge Direct. Why not? Let's change that for the future. System region's helpful. There's NTSC and PAL, and that determines the timing of your games. There are some games on the Super NES, like the European version of Terranigma, that did have a region check internally. So if you tried to play them on an American system, they would not work. So this allows you to tell your cartridges, hey, it's okay. I am your friend. But we don't want to change that now. And then the LED options, the front of the system has an LED that pulses and strobes and shines different colors. This, again, is totally cosmetic, and it's something you can't even see because you can't see the system. So that's kind of useless. Video is probably the more interesting stuff. There's a huge range of resolution options. The top 3 are NTSC, the bottom 3 are PAL. If you wanted to run the system through a digital analog converter like an Emotia, or the supposed analog converter that Analogue is going to create, then you'll probably want to go 480p, which doubles the resolution of the system. And actually, this would work with some like PVMs and BVMs, high-end video monitors, analog video monitors, without the need to downsample them, which is cool. 720p is actually my preference because it's an even integer. You get the full screen resolution at 3x scaling for the graphics, so if you wanted to put on scan lines, they look really nice and clean. But I'm outputting at 1080p, which is handy because it's full resolution. So anyway, those are the three options. Screen size is just basically the way the pixels scale. So if you do 1:1, everything is square pixels. You don't want to do that, it looks weird. 8:7 is how the graphics were meant to be seen. That's the proportion of an actual CRT monitor. And then this is just different sizes depending on the kind of television you have. But this one looks best to me. Okay, then there's the actual scaling. By default, the system outputs at 4.5 height. So as you can see, you get a little bit of black bar border at the top and bottom of the screen this way. The only problem with 4.5 height is that even though it looks fine at a glance, if you put on scan lines, which appear one every line, they become really uneven. I'll show you actually. Scan lines, if you're viewing this in full HD, which you should be, when you put on scan lines, they look really bad. See how there's like one thin, one thick, one thin, one thick? That is not how it's supposed to look. So you don't want to do 4.5 scaling. Instead, whoops, you want to go with either 4x or 5x, which makes the scan lines look clean. So 4x, everything is smaller, but if a game takes advantage of the full pixel resolution of the Super NES, then this keeps things from being cut off at the top and bottom. But Yoshi's Island actually, I don't think you lose anything. Yeah, if you look, I think because it's a more, graphically advanced game and kind of pushes the limits of the system, it doesn't use the full 240 resolution, vertical resolution of the system. So when you scale up to 5x, if you look at the bottom and top, you can see you're not actually losing any details. Like if you look at the bushes and the vines at the top. So this is one of the games you can scale up to 5x height and it fills the screen without losing any information. Some games take advantage of the full Super NES vertical resolution, in which case you don't want to go 5x height because then you'll lose stuff. You go 4x for those and it's cleaner. And of course this is only valid if you're relevant if you're using 1080p output. If you do 720p, then just go with 3x and it's fine. Oops, let me switch back to 5. There we go. Alright, so now we can look at the scan lines, and they'll look a lot nicer. I actually don't know what the difference between normal and hybrid is. I guess normal, it looks like there's a little bit of a softening effect on the edges, whereas hybrid is more just like clean lines. So this actually kind of gives you more of a, the normal gives you more of the impression of watching this on a CRT screen. And then if you do turn on scan lines, you probably want to activate gamma boost, because if you check out the graphics, they darken up a little bit when you put on scan lines. So let's turn on the gamma boost and you can see the difference. It makes things a little brighter and easier to see. So that's kind of bringing the game visuals back to the way they're supposed to look when you put on scan lines. I'm going to turn off the scan lines though, because even though they look nice for me, they do not translate well to YouTube streaming, so that would be a big no. But if there is some other options here. You can choose how heavy your scan lines are. You can make them very faint. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of scan lines on YouTube, but if you turn them on when you're playing on like a 48-inch or 60-inch screen, it kind of helps break up the blockiness of the graphics. These game graphics were not meant to be seen at 60 inches, so scan lines can be helpful. But we're going to go back to no scan lines and turn off the gamma boost. Alright, so that's basically the standard options for video. And let's see. I see people are having religious arguments in the comments about emulation versus field programmable gate arrays, and I don't want to get involved in that. I will let you guys sort that out on your own time. Is Blar coming after me? Yes, he is. Or she. I don't want to assume. I guess I should have knocked him down and stolen all his coins, but oh well. I'm not going for 100% this playthrough. I'm going for try to survive while talking to people on YouTube. Oh yeah, give me that little guy. Oh. Alright, let's try it again, monkey. Come on, throw it, throw it. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll play a little more of this, get to a safe spot, and then we can look to... Alright. What was I saying? We can look to some of the other features on the system. So let's check out the advanced options. I don't think that monkey's going to come after me, so it should be okay. Alright, so if you turn on advanced mode, it opens up a bunch of other things that you can look at. Someone said, Jeremy, notice me please. I notice you, nickel idiot. You matter. So let's see. We looked at cropping, yeah? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, so this is an advanced option. You can basically cut off basically the overscan area if a game has overscan and it looks ugly on your TV. This game does not have that, so this is just kind of pointless. There's no need for that. So let's see, scalars. Oh yeah, if you really hate life and want to make things look ugly, you can use that. I can't in good conscience recommend these. I know some people like, oh, there we go, okay, this is how Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka wanted us to look at the game. Yes, this is the true Yoshi's Island. It's like the Dark Souls of Yoshi's Island. Good God, oh my God, I can't tell what's happening here. Okay, so let's turn that off. No scalar. Let's see, H interpolation and it's obviously horizontal and vertical interpolation, but I'm not really sure. Oh, okay, I see. So if you want to get like really crispy hard edges on your pixels, you can turn off the interpolation, but I actually think it looks a little better if you have a little bit of softness on the graphics. Again, these were not meant to be seen at 60 inches, so there's something to be said for turning on some interpolation and softening up the graphics a little bit. Oh boy, looks like there's a lot of religious fighting happening in the comments. Play nice, kids. It's just video games, okay? Just video games. It's good times for everyone. Let's look at the extra features. Okay, 64 sprite tiles is something that I don't know if people actually really will notice much effect if you use it, but basically it gives you the ability to display more sprites at once without flicker. So some of the shooters like Gradius 3 or something like Final Fight that has a lot of sprites, big sprites happening on the screen at once, that keeps the flicker diminished. It does not change slowdown though, because slowdown has to do with the programming, with the software and not the hardware. So Mode 5 and 6, I don't even know which games use Mode 5 and 6. Everyone knows Mode 7, but I can't tell you whether this is something you'd want to activate, the interlace disable. And then pseudo high-res blending. So I think when you have like meshes, it creates the blending causes the meshes to look more like an actual transparency. I don't think that has any effect in this game, or at least in this scene. So okay, then for the people who get really fussy about input lag and so forth, you can choose to activate 3 different modes here, like one frame buffer, where the system kind of queues up a frame of action and delays the output so that you don't get tearing. Fully buffered, where you get more lag, and you might not notice as the game feels as responsive, which could be bad in something like Street Fighter. And then zero delay, which I have it set for, where you get some tearing occasionally, not that I've noticed it, but potentially some tearing. And the trade-off is that everything is super snappy and responsive. Let's see. Yes, people are telling me not to use X-ray filter on Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy. That would be pretty rough. So I think that is pretty much it for the graphics, but then there's a lot of audio features. Actually, no, there's just a few. So you can reverse the stereo soundstage if you want to. I don't know why you'd want to. I guess maybe if someone miswired your hi-fi system. The 3 decibel output cut just reduces the volume of the system. which I don't know why you wouldn't just turn down your television, but apparently, according to Analogue, there are some very rare edge cases in which this is important. So if you come across one of those, then you can activate the output cut and it will make things better. The interesting one here is cartridge audio enable. So if you have something like the Super Game Boy, where the cartridge itself is actually creating sound. The Super Game Boy is basically like the innards of a Game Boy inside a Super NES cartridge. By default, this is turned off. The audio enable is actually disabled, and Super Game Boy games do not generate sound. So if you want to activate Super Game Boy sound, you turn on the cartridge audio enable. I don't know why you wouldn't leave that on all the time, but I did notice anecdotally that when I had it on, cartridges, when I finished playing the game, felt a little bit warm. Maybe that's just my imagination, but I guess, if you don't want to risk it, then keep the audio enable disabled. And I think we've seen pretty much everything. I mean, you can see all the people who made this system. They did some fine work. Oops, I'm a version behind. It's actually up to 3.8 now. I'm so ashamed. And then finally, Save Clear Settings allows you to permanently save the options you've set up for your system so that they default to that next time you turn on the system. And that's it. The only other thing on here is that you can play Super Turrican Director's Cut or Super Turrican 2, which are both built into the firmware. And I am not any good at those games, so I am not going to play those live on stream because that would be embarrassing. We'll do a little more Yoshi's Island. Look at that, it's Leon! Hello, Leon. This game has the best enemy designs. They're so weird. Super Mario games do not have bizarre... Whoa! I forgot the monkeys drop bombs. And shoot machine gun, watermelons. Anyway, as I was saying, Mario games need more weird character designs like Leon there and the little pink guys who walk around and look all smug and happy with themselves. I love the enemy designs in this game. Actually, I love pretty much everything about this game. There's not much about Yoshi's Island that is bad. Monkeys, oh. I hate every A by C, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. Did I make a mistake? Oh, I cut myself off from the helicopter. Sorry, folks. No flight times today. Someone asked how the Super NES Classic touch fuzzy effect changes from the original cartridge. As far as I know, it doesn't. It's pretty accurate so far as I can tell. The Super NES Classic Edition, there was like an effect that was removed, and I feel like that was an anti-epilepsy measure, because Nintendo is very concerned about accidentally causing epilepsy sufferers to experience seizures after that Pokemon episode a long time ago. So yeah, I think that's what was happening there. Alright, now we are going to fly like a helicopter. So this is another one of those kooky super effects things. I remember playing this game for a friend like 15 years ago who had never seen it before. I don't think I'm going the right way. This is a bad idea. And he was very angry about this game because it has so many little goofy effects like Yoshi morphing into a helicopter and little dudes transforming into different things and Shy Guys spinning through the air. He was very offended by that. I don't really understand it, but I have forgotten what the hell I'm supposed to do here. So it's been a while since I played this stage. Alright, let's go to a different stage. Yes, great. What time is it now? It's 3:30, okay. So I'll look at one more stage, and then we can maybe try a different game. let's see if I can get to Raphael Raven, because that's one of the big cool effects in Yoshi's Island. Oh, those darn Goonies. This stage kind of reminds me of the Albatross stages in Super Mario Bros. 2. The American Super Mario Bros. 2, that is. We had to ride birds. Whoa, that was not cool. Come on. Oh, give me my baby back. My baby back ribs. No! Oh, whew. That was really close. Alright, so cheap attacks from off-screen aside, things are going okay. Alright, do I have 6? I have 6. Okay, so nothing's coming out now. I can look at the question. Someone said, can you talk about the power adapter? It is USB. It comes with a little plug, and then it's basically just a USB Type A to micro USB cable that goes with it. I don't know exactly what the voltage is on the USB, but you could probably run it off like a battery cell or something. People want to know if the Super Nt will increase the price of cartridges. I don't think anything can stop the price of cartridges from skyrocketing. It's just our doom. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I don't really see any other questions in easy and in close sights. Oh my god! Got cocky. Take that, you bastard. Frozen watermelons. No! Ah, you jerk. God, I hate those guys. Oh no! Yoshi! Oh, bad Yoshi. You deserve to die. Alright. Let's try this stage again. You know, this is a Nintendo stream, but I haven't been drinking, and it's probably just as well, considering how bad I'm playing sober. But I am happy that the audio quality seems not to be experiencing any issues. It's been super frustrating trying to do streams and not be able to have my voice transmit cleanly. Someone in the stream asked why Nintendo stopped focusing on the Super NES. I don't really know what that question means. I'm very sorry that I cannot answer that question. I kind of feel like they are focusing somewhat on the Super NES. They just released, a few months ago, a fake Super NES console that had a bunch of Super NES games, including a brand new Super NES game. So that's, I don't know, I feel like that's doing a pretty good job of repping the system. Suck it. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot about those guys. There's so many weird stuff, so many weird things in this game, just to show off the tech effects. Crap, I can't remember how to get up there. I think I have to bounce. There we go, that's right. That was really bright. This level was very stressful. Oh my god, I forgot about those guys too. Oh no. Very rusty. Oh my god, what is happening here? Very sorry about all the caterwauling babies. And no ring for me. That's very sad. That was pretty cool, though. Yeah, so... Oh, right. So unfortunately, it takes a while to get up to Raphael Raven. I have to bumble my way through. There we go. Alright. Baby power. There we go. Alright. Okay. Sorry for the lack of scintillating conversation, but this is a little bit of a stressful stage. Good Super FX effects, though. Those polygons. Bet you didn't know your Super NES could do that, did you, kids? I don't know how it's possible to eat a ghost, but Yoshi can do it. That's quite an appetite he has. An appetite for death. Oh, little birds. Big birds. There's a lot of bird happening here. Come to me, my little star friend. Okay, there we go. Now we get to see the showcase effect. Raphael Raven. No, what? Where's my Raven? There we go. Okay. Spinning through space. Well, sorry folks, I'm gonna forever twinkle in the sky. Whoa, that's right. I get flung into space. And here we go with Nintendo totally showing off. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You tawdry bastard. Damn you and your birdiness. Man, this is super disorienting on the big screen. Let me tell you. Oh, I keep blowing. Oh, come on. There we go. Jeez. I made him angry. No, I made him angrier. Oh, Yoshi. Pay attention, little guy. I have no idea how this is transmitting on YouTube. I imagine you guys are about to throw up. Oh, I missed it. One of these days, he's gonna stop over one of those little pegs. Oh, that's what I should be doing. Oh, no! That was not such a great idea after all. Oh, even a worse idea. What? In God's name is happening here? Okay, well, now you've seen me bumble my way through that fight, and everything's great. Okay, so, those are the crazy graphical effects of Yoshi's Island. I think I will switch over to a different game now. That means I'm going to have to switch off the system, which means there will be an interruption in the stream, and I apologize for that. But it's kind of unavoidable. So if you'll stick tight, let's see, what do I want to put in here? I guess I could torment you guys and play Doom, but that would also torment me. I don't want to do that. So it's either Shockman Man Zero or Super Mario Land. Let's go with Shockman Man Zero. Alright, so hold tight for 1 sec, and I'm going to switch games, and when I come back, hopefully you'll still be here. There will be Okay, there we go. Looks like the stream has restarted. Alright, so... where was I? Okay, so this is Shockman Man Zero. Kaizo Chojin Shockman Man Zero. It is a mouthful. This game was developed by a company called NCS and Messiah. I don't know if those are the same, but they made stuff like Musha. They're pretty cool. Yes, there you go, Messiah. And this game was originally released for the Satellaview download service in Japan only back in 1997, and it vanished into obscurity. But then, last year, the Dojin Circle, or Dojin Company, Columbus Circle, that's it, that's what they are, Columbus Circle, they reissued it in a cartridge form. The cartridge was somewhat questionably made, and actually nearly fried my Super NES, but it works just fine on the Super NT, and that's pretty cool. So it's basically like a platform brawler. If you've ever played Shockman for PC Engine, TurboGrafx, it's pretty similar. You basically can do punches and low kicks and stuff. So it's kind of Mega Man with punching, and then you can also charge up to do a Hadouken, but you can't run when you're doing the charge shot. So you can't like hold on to a charge and carry it with you like you could in Mega Man. So you kind of have to be tactical about it. Oh, and you also have to be careful for those guys because they will punch you in the face. But there is some cool, sweet fighting move type stuff. And you collect money, and also Famicoms and cartridges. It's a very silly game. Gold bricks for some reason. And the little batteries give me life up, which is nice. And I believe if you collect enough cash, eventually you will get an extra meter on your life bar. I'm not sure what the mechanic is there for powering up your health, but it is something you can do. And you get 1 life per credit and 3 credits, so it's kind of got that hardcore arcade style feel to it. I guess that's because it was, you know, a pretty slight game for 1997, very simplistic and actiony, and you know, it was a free download on the Satellaview, so I suppose it goes to reason. They had to kind of pad out the length with difficulty, although it's not super hard at the beginning, but as you can see, it does do things like punch you with guys who come out of a truck when you're not expecting it, and also to watch your height. And I really need to get some health here because I'm almost dead. That'd be bad. There we go. No goodies in the trucks, that's very sad. And in case you weren't sure if this game was inspired by Mega Man, those guys are totally straight from Mega Man. I mean, it's not even... Oh, what? It's not even subtle. Those are totally just the Picklemen. I do like the little animation where if you get hit by a pickaxe, it gets stuck in your head. Whoa, oh. Actually, they're very generous with life drops. And I just noticed in the stream that my audio was apparently, like my voice audio was apparently behind the actual action for Yoshi's Island. I don't know why that is. That's very annoying, and I'm sorry. I wish I understood why my system's voiceover setup was so terrible. It seems like it should work without trouble. Oh, you dirty bastard. I just missed a battery. Very sad. Doing it for trying to use a flourish. Oh, a black battery. Full health. So yeah, you can see the power-ups are things like computers and Famicom cartridges. Oh. Super Famicom cartridges, and so forth. So anyway, I don't actually know how many stages are in this game, because until my Super NT came along, I was not able to play this game. It's a mystery. But I've beaten the first couple of bosses. Stages are pretty long. This is still just the first level. It's broken into segments. This is the third segment of stage 1. So there's a bit of substance to it, I guess. So I need to drop down and kill those dudes. Guy always gets me. This is a boss, and it looks basically like Vector Man. Oh, and I'm gonna lose. It's terrible. Oh, that was... Wow, that was kind of pathetic. And now he's dead. The end. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, someone said, hey, is this a Satellaview game? It started life on Satellaview, but as I was saying earlier, this is a cartridge release from Columbus Circle that came out last summer in Japan and would not work on my Super NES, but it does work on the Super NT, which is pretty cool. Kind of like the same company put out some Famicom games, the 8-Bit Music Power series, and those also did not work on real hardware for me. They basically would just fry the system, more or less. But they work just fine on the NT Mini, and now the Super Famicom game works just fine on the Super NT. So this the system is actually a bit more durable than real hardware, I would say. You can throw stuff at it that is a little out of spec, and it seems to work okay. So anyway, not Dr. Light, just got beaten up and tied up. Very tragic. Oh, what? Yeah, take that. Whoa. So even though the cartridge version of this is a little flaky, I would be very happy to see more cartridge-only games be reissued or download-only games from Super Famicom. Oops, reissued on cartridge. Like if Nintendo put Wrecking Crew 98 on cartridge, that'd be cool. And I just killed like a teddygram? I don't know what that is. And that is pretty much a guy from Bonk. Pretty sure of it. Ah! I don't know what value the... Oh, the butterflies apparently level me up. That's great. Okay, so this is like the mid-boss, who is a guy in a scarf. It might be Gambit from X-Men, I don't know. Oh, he got me. He was surprisingly not difficult, but there's probably a recurring boss fight at some point. Someone said, press start 2 players. Yes, there is a 2-player start, 2-player option at the beginning. I guess you could play 2 people together simultaneously. I don't have a second person here, though, so we'll never know. I don't have a second controller plugged into my Super NT. That was a bad idea. Anyway, it's been nearly an hour now, so probably don't need to belabor the point. I don't really have much to say about this game that I'm not familiar with, aside from, hey, isn't it cool that I can play it on a cartridge? Hooray! But anyway, I hope you have gotten some value out of this demo stream of the Super NT. If you happen to miss the demo of the hardware features, which I showed off earlier, you can go back and watch the archive of the stream and see everything in excruciating detail, because I know that's what the world wants. But anyway, I'm really impressed with the Super NT. I wish it had a digital analog converter built into it, like the NT Mini does. I understand why they cut it out, because it cut the price a lot. It makes the system affordable for the average budget, more affordable, which is important because their previous things, the NT Mini and the NT, and the Neo Geo, those were all really, really expensive. And if they want to sell to people, they gotta bring the price down. So I get the lack of the DAC, but it means you can't play this on a CRT television. It means you can't play light gun games. So it is kind of a loss, and hopefully they weren't joking around about releasing a custom DAC for the Super NT. But I am really, like I said, impressed with the features it offers, the compatibility it offers. Like every single game that I've thrown at this thing has been able to play just fine, better than any emulator I've used, better than the Super NES Classic Edition that Nintendo put out last year. I'm sure there are some really great emulators, like the Hygan, I think is what it's called. That has a great reputation, but it's not something you can, buy at the store, and it's not something that you can put on a system that costs like $189. It requires a really powerful PC. So, for what the price tag on this thing is, I think it's really versatile and capable, and hopefully they will do a jailbreak with it and allow people to load ROMs off of it, play other game systems, we'll see. But even if it is just a Super NES clone that plays Super NES cartridges, it's really damn good at it. So, oops. I feel like this is kind of biting off Castlevania here. Like Orphic Vipers, but with a goofy octopus. Suck it, octopus. Okay. That, I think, is a great place to leave off. And so this concludes my Analogue Super Nt demo stream. I hope you enjoyed watching me bumble my way through Be-kun Zero and Yoshi's Island. And be sure to check out my video review of the system if you're interested. And of course, I will be hopefully streaming on a weekly basis now that my audio seems to work. Thanks again, everyone. Have a lovely afternoon. I'm going to go drink some gin.